hope you are tuned in to Safe Space Talks Mind Mastery every Wednesday, 12 p.m. Eastern Time. Take a half an hour away from being glued to the glass and get your mind right.
Greetings. Welcome to Safe Space Talks Mind Mastery one more time and again. And I am your host, your good girlfriend, Nigeria Anderson. Finally. This is the last Wednesday. Now, normally it would be because I was going on vacation and I would be back in September, but the Lord has freed me from this assignment on doing every Wednesday. He has not freed me from the Safe Space Talks My Mastery assignment. And therefore, you can still email me at safespacetalks@gmail.com if you need help, resources, or counseling. I won't have to be here stuttering and fumbling and bumbling every Wednesday before y'all, because I already told y'all that I'm no actress, I'm no performer, that's not my gene. I'm a behind the scenes make money chick. Okay, so this was so out of my comfort zone. This was something that it truly truly was an assignment from the Lord, but I'm forever grateful for the doors that it has opened for me, the people that I have met, the people that I have helped. The Bible is clear. Once you've been healed, once you have overcome, once you broke the barrier, go back and help your brethren. I live by that. That is my calling. People have forgotten about that because it's so about me. You can't even barely make a friend because everybody thinks that you want something from them. And so, the Bible is clear. Show yourself friendly. I am baffled at everything that's going on in the world today. I mean, when you have people in Cuba eating out of garbage cans with no lights, and y'all think, oh, well, that's just over in Cuba. Or you think, oh, that's just over there in Haiti. I know, y'all who know me know I'm very passionate and I get very emotional about these things because I love people. I love God's people. And we're all God's creation, as my cousin would say. But we're not all God's children. So I love God's children. And for those who don't know him, I be wanting them to come on in. That's the other assignment. However, I say constantly on here, trauma, that does not discriminate, which we can see clearly when we watch the news. Is white people, black people, Asians, Hispanics. Trauma does not discriminate. And so, although for the most part, everybody want to say, well, black people are more susceptible to being, and old black people are more, and black. Well, let me tell you about 2026 with the new administration. The new administration is like trauma. It does not discriminate. Just sharing. That's what I get to do here. Just tell the truth. And so, for those of us who have experienced or endured a traumatic experience, we know that their lives have been altered mentally, emotionally, and physically. It requires maintenance. Y'all can say what you want. It requires maintenance. It requires you being conscious and aware of your surroundings, how you move in society, because you have been altered. Your mind is like on emergency. You become hypervigilant. You can't sleep. You have triggers. All of this goes on. Those who have endured events from like the weathers, the fires, car accidents, molestation, unexpected death of a loved one, domestic violence, many have had a mental break due to the stress of it all. Poor health. We talked about those who unexpected amputations, war. We're literally at war. War exposure, being abused as a child, watching a parent be abused, like I showed you in the previous video. That previous video, man, you guys are watching it. Thank you. Unemployment, eviction, and so on and so on. There's so many things we've all have suffered in one way or another. Some do go and get help. Others become silent and live in isolation. And having a mental instability without help has destroyed lives, families, and relationships. So my sitting here being uncomfortable, trying to speak to y'all has not been in vain. Where's the Clark sisters? So I'm just glad, because I have to admit, I got to be transparent. I was like, Lord, come on now. How long I got to sit and face these people and talk about this? I want to be in front of people. And I mean, you talk about answered prayers. This is why you got to pray. And this is why I talk about Jesus. I know y'all don't like it. I get shadow banned. I've seen the numbers. I've seen the tricks with YouTubes and the likes. And I got so many likes one day, and then I don't have no likes the next day. So I'm not in charge of YouTube. This is not my platform. So, I can just come here and do what I do. Pray I'm a blessing to somebody. Pray that I'm helping somebody, because I have had to deal with it my whole self. And no one can tell you about it unless they've been through it. They can pretend, but I got paperwork, documentation, and like I said, I'm still working on trying to get some people on here, because we're shifting to chapter 2, which is heal people, heal people. God gave that to me doing this Safe Space Talks My Mastery, and now he's like, okay, yes, great, we got to move to chapter 2, which is the heal people, and we have a lot of people on the roster. I guess that's why I didn't have any guests during season 6, but when I tell y'all the people that's going to be on this platform, so please subscribe, hit the bell, because there will be pop-ups. I'm not doing it every Wednesday, but there will be pop-ups. So please subscribe so that you'll know that we're on, and it's going to be someone dynamic, someone who speaks better than me, because it's very important to not be the smartest one in the group, though I'm smart. But to always surround yourself around people who know more than you. That's very important. Today, America is faced with financial stresses, unemployment, and housing displacement, if you're unaware. And if you think that this will not have a mental effect on those who are going to be affected, you have another thing coming. There's a lot. It's a lot. And I've been on here warning y'all about things since last year, and now they're actually becoming into fruition. And so, like I said, I don't profess to be a prophet. I'm like Amos. The Lord told me to tell you. Oh, y'all got to read your Bible, but it's okay. And Safe Space Talks, My Mastery, we are here because we understand one thing is true. We are better off together than separated, or someone trying to pit us against each other. You know, it again, trauma is not a black or white thing. Trauma is trauma. And so again, I will still be, the team is still here. We will answer questions, so you can always email us. And so we have gone on tour. We have been on the front lines, and we are not going to stop. So please make sure you watch shows you may have missed. Go back, start from the beginning when I was like a deer in headlights. Yeah, that's how I was, you know. So this, and I'm like, dang, I'm just coming into being comfortable in front of the camera. But oh my God never wants us. He don't want a comfortable Christian. I could feel the Holy Spirit on me, but let me just keep it moving. If you are not aware, funding has been cut. It's not getting cut. It is cut. They have cut it while they're distracting you with so many things. And so it's hard for people like myself who are like, yo, you know, people are losing it and we got to be there and we trying to be helpful with the resources we have. So it is a collectiveness. It is a working together. If you're not about that life, please don't email me. I want people who are really serious about their mental wellness. And I want people who wrote books. I want people who did movies. The people who, you know, talk about it and trying to express their testimony. Become part of the movement of Safe Space Talks My Mastery. Okay? Because there's still 7,000 people who will not bow down to Baal. Don't be fooled because you think you got some money, you middle class, and you have a few pennies because they are working on taking your few pennies. Oops, my bad. They did already. We ain't getting no more pennies. There's no more pennies. Take your time. Because we know building community is possible. Because they did it, right? You know, the Black Panthers, Black Wall Street, HBCUs, churches, Tulsa, you know. So we have to make sure that we are loving on each other and we're not pitting each other against each other. We must return to being a community who looks out for each other. And I've been so blessed all my life. Every neighborhood, you know, the neighborhood I grew up in, that's all we did. So I don't know nothing else but community. The place where I moved to, same thing. I call my sister the mayor of the block because she know everybody. I'm not as friendly. I'm not. Everybody's suspect. That's what trauma do. Everybody's suspect, okay? But, you know, neighbors are cool. Wherever I am, God is, and it's a blessing, and the people are kind. I guess because I'm a kind person, I attract kind people because I'm just blessed like that. So Safe Space Talks My Mastery is working on making our reality something that people can benefit from. Because I don't just like talking about things, I'm about doing it. So yeah, I live it out and I live it out loud. Just like I live my faith out loud. And that's why, you know, some people could be around me and some people can't because the light is real. Real. And I understand that if I do not ever reach everybody, I know I'm going to reach somebody. Because what I do know from my personal experience, if I did not have a good family, good friends, and my church family, I might not be sitting here before you. So when I see those struggle and how maybe they don't have a family member or they don't have friends, y'all know my heart is so pure. I swear, it hurts me. Don't have a church family. My heart breaks. I'm just like, man, because I know one hug, I know one hand held, I know a prayer, I know that a good meal or a demonstration of real concern might just make the difference. It just might just makes the difference. Y'all see my shirt? Y'all see the shirt? Y'all make sure one of the ways we promoted ourselves and trying to, being on the front line and touring was selling the shirts. And we need your help. I know we not the major organizations, but we want to be. And the only way we can be that is if you support us. I'm not saying don't support big organizations, but I'm just saying they have the finances and the major resources, but they're not always on the front line. They're not always accessible. See, Safe Space Talks My Mastery. See, we accessible to the peoples who really need it because we're a group of people who understand. We're not just working. We're not just scholars. We've been affected in a way that we genuinely care. So again, we are a movement. I like to say that Safe Space Talks My Mastery is a movement. And if you want to be a part of this wonderful movement, please email me at safespacetalks@gmail.com. And it's true, I reach out even when I'm on vacation. So don't let me say because I'm on vacation, you're not going to hear from somebody. You will hear from somebody. Because helping someone else is a rewarding biblical principle. Take your time. I said it's a rewarding biblical principle. Don't miss that. Especially to those who, do it because they genuinely care. It's not a check. It's just, this is what we do. So chapter 2 of Safe Space Talks My Mastery is going to launch. It's going to launch. Heal people, heal people. And we will begin working on that. And I will have pop-ups, like I said, so you can see those involved. You can come in person. And I really just can't say thank you enough for the support of Heal People, Heal People. I mean, oh my goodness, man. You make a call, you make a clarion call, and those with ears hear. And so, again, like I said, they'll be more eloquent than me because they're professionals in their field and used to speaking in front of cameras, unlike your girl. But what I say here is true, informative, and valuable. So, I'm just saying. I may not have that TED Talk speech because plus I play too much sometimes. So please watch older shows, especially if you're new and just coming in and seeing this and have been watching the videos and you're like, nah, we still doing it. You're just coming in on the end of chapter 1. Continue to send the emails. We're shifting. Anything with life grows. Just remember that. All right. I can only ask that you share, like, and subscribe so you can get the notifications. Tell your friends to subscribe. Will you do me that favor? Will you share? And thank you in advance. Now, many people who experience psychosis have also lived through trauma, and some may develop post-traumatic stress or another diagnosis. We've been talking about that since day one, how one thing can lead to another thing, or one diagnosis can lead to another diagnosis. It's like them pills they give you, and then quickly they tell you how you can take this pill, but you might have diarrhea, migraines, your kidney might fail. I'm not laughing because it's not funny. Y'all who know me know I got that giggle that just relieves stress for me. But it's true. It's true. Y'all act like I'm not telling y'all the truth. If I'm lying, let me know. But I'm not. So, you're dealing with one thing, and it's just can be perpetual. We understand that medication is needed. You need medication and Jesus, because some of the times them symptoms, you can pray all you want. You pray till you blue in the face. Them symptoms. Them symptoms will have you concerned. Okay? So yeah, no. And we don't want you going down a rabbit hole of emotional, spiritual, and physical trauma associated to these conditions. So, I can confirm that it can become unbearable. Like, fear is torment. Torment leads to trauma. Trauma leads to possibly having yourself in a mental institution. And this is why I'm here, because I don't want you there. I want to give you things that, you start feeling yourself drifting, do conscious commands, pause, stop, breathe, meditate, right? Journal. We've said this time and time, but these are tools and things you can do immediately while seeking counsel and care. Trauma can have a deep impact on mental health and physical health. It can be weight gain, weight loss, depression, anxiety, and some may experience hearing voices, feeling fearful, or struggling with distress, frustration. And for a long time, some professionals worried that talking directly about trauma in therapy might be too overwhelming for people with psychosis. That was the word we were using. Or that it could make things worse. But we found out, and for a long time, trauma-focused therapy was avoided because they thought that it would make people worse. People just try to forget about it, cope, but then their coping skills fail, and then they start drinking, drugging, sleeping around, becoming violent. That's how we got domestic violence and control and narcissism and all the names, all the things. Because they thought, oh, no, let's not, don't bring it up. Don't, that's what y'all say. What goes on in this house stays in this house, and look at everybody grown up and crazy for no reason. I know my friend just said, because she always tells me don't say that word, but it's all right, hey. So, coping or trying to cope, and what's so amazing is that the body, the mind, it has a coping mechanism. It does help you out. Fight, flight, or freeze, like your God created us wonderful. We are fearful and wonderful, fearfully and wonderfully made. Blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, trust me, trauma, you can't block it out. Because let me tell you something. Let something trigger that memory, and bam, you will relive that entire trauma all over again as if it has just happened. All right, help me out, people. Put that in the comments. Am I telling the truth? Say she telling the truth. So it was discovered that being led by a professional to properly revisit, to unpack, help relieve trigger responses, and help people to cope better work. Now, many understand that trauma-focused psychological therapy can both be safe and helpful to those who are in need. Thank you. Now, I want to warn you, all services are being threatened. And that's why chapter 2 is important for Safe Space Talks, Mind Mastery. Because now they're saying, yeah, this works. Oh, but you're not going to be able to afford it. Ooh, take your time. Yeah, oh no, it works. What insurance you have? Ah, man, we could only give you 4 services. It's okay. It's okay. They can't do nothing to me. They can't do nothing to me. I can tell y'all what's really happening. So, Safe Space Talks was launched to help communicate the truth about mental health services and provide resources of quality to those in need. Because they are hiring people who read 5 books and now they trying to tell you what's good for you. And they're dealing with their own trauma, don't even know they have trauma. I'm gonna talk my talk and telling you what you should do according to chapter 5. So during this series, I wanted to just share how trauma begins, because we talked about that. Like in the last video, you saw the relationship with the parents fighting with the little kid in the back watching, right? Please watch that video, Relationship Trauma, Let's Talk. Please, please. If you haven't seen it, that's a must watch. I promise you. If you don't never watch another Safe Space Talks Mind Mastery video, watch that one. If you have no idea of the root of something, it makes it hard to be made whole. How are you going to fix something you don't understand? So we understand that traumatic events can start in our first father's house, our workspaces, our churches, and by trusted or familiar people. This is how it starts. These are the roots. I gotta tell y'all. Sometimes when a person is insecure, doesn't feel loved or fearful, they might be easily manipulated into unpleasant situations. We're still in Mental Health Awareness Month. That's how we get domestic violence and, other things that lead to unaliving somebody or each other. Again, check out that previous video. And I know many think I'm exaggerating, but I'm not. I'm not. However, it is true. Look at the movies that's coming out. Are y'all paying attention? It's so demonic. It's so fear-mongering. It's so spooky and death and killing. What is the last love story you've seen? Real love, not the fake love and just whatever. You have AI, social media, DoorDash, Instacart, Tesla, all are causing so many to become isolated because now everybody can hide behind these screens, right? Get your head out the glass. I love that intro. That's why we did it all season 6. Get your head out the glass, right? Are causing people to just use their fingertips to do all the work. Y'all getting fat, you're not doing exercises, y'all sitting a long time, hurting your back, hurting your hips, not exercising because you can't get off that glass. Now they have an app for everything, including therapy, which defeats the whole purpose of having therapy, having that human empathy connection where you can look in someone's eyes and see, what's going on with them, their body language. And now that it's online, you know how many people are being misdiagnosed? Online therapy. Why? Due to the lack of intimacy, eye contact, body language, you can't tell what's really going on over this computer. You cannot. And I'm not saying, for people who can't move and need to use the computer, I'm not talking about you. Okay, I gotta be clear. I'm not talking about you. You need it. You need it. Able-bodied mind people who can get to therapy, you need to go in person. That's just a suggestion. Listen. I don't know how y'all doing it. I need it in person. That's just me, and I'm the better for it. So we're doing all we can here to help. And if you're not a person of faith that can cast all your anxieties and worries on the Lord, to my unsaved people, I don't know what you're going to use, but like I like to say, there's still hope. But because this is the last show, I'm going to leave this scripture for everybody, whether you want to hear it or not. And that's Psalms 18, 1-6. I'm going to need you to read that. When you're feeling down or depressed, or you feel you can't make it, it's just excellent. It's an excellent scripture to meditate on in the morning before you leave your house. And when you come home, God's will, you make it home in these last and wicked days. Psalms 18, 1-6. Read it. That's because I love y'all. Now, we don't have to wonder if we're being deceived. We don't. Or if evil and malicious works are taking place in the world. We don't have to think or wonder if that's happening. It's in our feeds every day. Now, how can we not have compassion on Cuba, Ukraine, Africa, Haiti? And I mean, you think just because you're in wherever, that you're in your nice little bubble and nothing's gonna happen to me and I have money and I'm rich and that's them, not me. There's so many distractions happening right now. I mean, all at once. I mean, like, who really cares about people eating out the garbage in 2026? Do you care? Because we care. This is why we're doing what we're doing. Or don't have a place to live or food. Lord have mercy, help me get through it. Have food to eat. Do you think that doesn't affect an individual's mind, body, and soul? And then when you hear, oh, so-and-so unalived themselves, then everybody's, or, he killed all his family. They seem like such a nice couple. It's all right. It's all right. And y'all can help me or not help me. Like, I get on here and I don't mean to sound arrogant, but I just understand. And I know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody. So we gonna be all right at Safe Space Talks. I'm just trying to tell you, come on over. Red Rover, come to Safe Space Talks. My mastery. Right over. So this is why I have to this is why in this season, you have to make a decision. I'm telling you about what you are going to do. What are you going to watch? What kind of company you plan on keeping? It's a shift, baby. What are you going to spend your money on? And how to become more intentional about your day. How are you going to become more intentional about your day? That's the key word. What are you going to do? Do you have a calendar? Do you have a schedule? Do you have an exercise routine? We've talked about all of this on Safe Space Talks because it's that important. Because most people don't even realize how distracted they have become. Let me tell you how distracted you are. Do you know that the daily reading for pleasure in the US has fallen over 40%. You ready for this? In the last 20 years. Now, think to yourself, what have I been doing in the last 20 years? What book have I picked up for pleasure to read in the last 20 years? And go and ask yourself that question. Now, do you know reading scores for 8th graders have been falling, you ready, since 2013? And for 4th graders since 2015. Are y'all paying attention? This is not even COVID stuff. COVID made it worse. This is prior to COVID. Show you how distracted many have been. Researchers increasingly point to the rise of smartphones and social media. We're going to blame everything on these phones and social media as a major contributor. Many schools, you ready, have relaxed reading curricula to have students watch YouTube videos. Ask me how I know. I got nieces and nephews. I'm like, what are you doing? My teacher told me to watch the YouTube video. Yeah. See, everybody want to get on social media and talk for clicks and likes, and nobody's telling y'all the truth, but don't you worry. That's why I'm your friend, your good girlfriend, because I'm going to tell you the truth. I know. And you think this does not have an effect on your brain or how you think, what you believe, or what you're thinking about daily? And of course, these declines are steeper among who? What does the report say? Black Americans, low-income families, and rural communities. But let me tell you something, honey. Like I always tell you, when it's in one area, it's just a matter of time before it's in your area. Just sharing. And now, you ready? You ready for this? How many years I said? In the last 20 years. You ready for this bomb I'm getting ready to drop? If you can't read, how can you spell? And if you can't read, you can't write, you can't spell, how can you prompt AI to do anything? Don't miss that. Take your time. All right, so you're going to have to pay attention to what is really going on. Otherwise, you're going to blink and life would have passed you by. Because please, I need you stuck on what you've been doing the last 20 years. Make that a homework assignment. And where are you at today? What new decision you need to make today for your future self, baby? All right. It's because I love y'all. And if you think not learning how to read, write, and be able to do AI prompts to try to get yourself a job won't cause you to be stressed out and have a mental instability, you're absolutely wrong. Because again, here we tell you the contributing factors. That is a contributing factor. Not, oh my God. Ooh. And you know, the first thing that person said when they came in the office, oh, don't be woke. Stop the woke people. I wonder why. All right, so let me just show you this book. These are some books you should read. Go on YouTube. If you don't know how to read, listen to the audiobooks, whatever. In order to move forward, I believe these books right here will give you some insight on what you have already been dealing with, dealt with, and need to get rid of. Here we go.
Yo, these are 5 books them people don't want you to read. And yo, I'm surprised they haven't banned the 5th one yet. Number 1 is Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill. This book was so controversial that it was actually banned for 70 years, probably because it said that the school system and the religious systems are specifically created to keep you from thinking for yourself. The major key: stop drifting and own your own mind. Number 2 is Unscripted by MJ DeMarco. This is the book that your boss would never want you to read. This book gives you clear instructions on how to switch your mindset from that of a consumer to becoming a producer. We get a little bit dark at number 3 with Get Anyone to Do Anything. A wise man once said, with great power comes great responsibility. This book straight up teaches you exactly what the title says it's going to teach you. Now, you could either use this for evil, or you could use it to make sure that evil is not done to you. Number 4 is What Everybody Is Saying by Joe Navarro. 93% of all human communication is nonverbal. Once you learn how to read body language, it's almost like gaining a superpower. Number 5 is Making of a Slave, or it's also known as the Willie Lynch Letter. This book breaks down exactly how to mentally enslave people by turning them against each other using age, gender, and color. But when you read this, you'll finally learn to see the divide and conquer tactics being used against you every single day. And yo, we don't gatekeep over here, so if you know any rare or controversial books that might help open people's eyes, leave them in the comment section.
Now, with all things, get understanding. And don't forget, purchase a Bible. That book wasn't on the list, but I'm here to tell you, make sure you have a Bible somewhere. There's a difference between reading something online or listening to it and actually holding a book and reading it. Those help your neurons in your brain. They say it don't, it do. So those other books are good, but there's nothing like the Bible. Now, like I said, fear mongering is at an all-time high. You see it on TV, you see it in all the films, and you have to be able to conquer fear. You have to be able to counter fear. For me, I counter fear through my faith. And maybe whatever faith you have, if you can counter fear with it, then, use it. Remember I said, read Jonah. Because I know there's more than, that people serve different things. The way you do that naturally, okay, because that's a spiritual matter, but naturally, you want to become a problem solver. Okay, once you become a problem solver, you won't be easily distracted. You won't be easily tempted because you'll know what to do. You have some strategies in place. You'll have some ideas of what may work. The reason why people fall into fear is because they don't have an answer for it. And so it grips them and it paralyzes them, and then they scared. And I want to own my own business, but I don't know. I don't have no money. I don't know. Because if you don't know how to read, then you can't use Chat GPT. And if um, there's so many softwares that you can use. And even if you don't know how to read, but you know how to speak, they have programs you can speak your idea into it, and it will display what you should do, but you still don't have to read it. So let's make sure we're teaching our kids how to read, because they're going to need it if they're going to have jobs in the future. You're still going to need to know how to read. Everything's not going to do everything for you. Again, how are you going to prompt the AI if you can't, right? So you're going to have to know when to say yes and when to say no in this season. I mean, it's just time to make new decisions about your life. Do you want to be depressed and be anxious all the time? I promise you don't. I promise you don't. You don't. And you're going to have to start asking yourself, what family? Second and third level questions. If you lose your job today, what's your plan? If you have to move today due to an eviction, where are you going to live? I know you don't ask yourself that. Y'all don't ask yourselves, if I die, what's going to happen? That's why they have to go fund me. Because y'all not asking yourselves these real questions where you have to sit with your family. And these are real family discussions that we had when we sat at the table and talked. When we looked in each other's eyes to see each other's countenance. This is real stuff. Get your head out the glass. All right. Where are you spending too much of your idle time? That's like, before you can do anything, you better answer that question. Like, where are you spending too much idle time? Because that's your pit. That's your rabbit hole you falling down. That's your default setting. That's your delay place. That's your place where you're not getting nothing done. Ooh, Nigeria, let them have it on the last day. No, because how many of y'all know? I'm not the coochie coo. Y'all go somewhere else for that. Right here, I'm for the people. Tell me the truth, I need to get better. You know what I'm saying? That's how I got better. I had people like, hey, yo, what are you doing? Okay? So, yeah, I'm not the coochie coo. Oh, don't worry. It's going to be okay. It's not going to be okay, and it won't get better. You got to do the work. Season 6, we have been here talking about what do the work. Y'all lazy. Because when you don't have a plan, you are planning to fail. That's one of those cliches. I think I'd throw that in there for those who like that kind of lingo. And I'm not trying to scare you. I'm just saying, I want you to begin to think. I told you they're trying to steal your mind. You got to start thinking for yourself. You got to think for your kids. You got to think for your family. Which means you're going to have to get out your comfort zone. That's why y'all got me. Because God put me out of my comfort zone to come here because he know Tell him. And like I said, I'm like Amos. I don't profess to be a prophet. Read the book of Amos. I don't profess to be a prophet, but God said. I love when Amos says that. Boy, that thing blesses me. So you have to connect to those who will give you honest and wise counsel. I mean, it may be time to get... It's time to get your life right. Okay? It's time to get your life right. You know why? This is a word from the Lord. The plumb line has dropped. Ooh, most pastors don't teach about the plumb line. They don't, because they're still telling you God gonna do it. I'm gonna tell you right now, God has dropped the plumb line. Now, you Google that, do some homework, find out, ask your pastor about the plumb line. All right. If you're not thinking about your family, and I'm talking mentally, spiritually, physically, financially, their education, I don't know what to tell you. And you have to be thinking about yourself. Right now, if they're saying AI is coming, y'all can't read. And if they're saying AI is coming, and you don't need, it's taking jobs, why are you not using AI to create a job for yourself? You don't need a team no more. There's AI, ChatGPT, Copilot, Google, YouTube, Claude, all these softwares that you can set up your whole situation. There are too many avenues available right now today for you to become free. But you got to do the work. But you're going to have to read. You're going to have to listen to people who done it, did it, and better at it than you, and doing what you would love to do. Humble yourself. Get off of social media and stop listening to these people giving you cliff notes and learn it for yourself, and instead of paying them trying to get a quick fix, because it's not going to work like that unless they are genuine. And there's few that's genuine out here that will teach you, as opposed to those who just want your money and want to give you want to use the AI tools to keep feeding you more cliff notes. Ooh, girl. Now, I know. But let me tell you one more thing. Salvation is available to all mankind. So if you've been saying to yourself, but I don't know, and I don't know how. Well, I know somebody who can help you develop a wonderful prayer life where you can get inside information. Because God does not leave his people without telling them the mysteries. That's in Amos 2. Y'all got to read your Bible. Now, if you've been saying you want to, I'm just going to say, just go for it. And now I want you to listen to this clip. Here we go.
Coretta Scott King was a friend of mine, and I wanted to learn a lot about Martin Luther King, and I really wanted to learn from her point of view. And she said to me, Byron, they didn't kill my Martin over the I Have a Dream speech. They killed him over the speech that he gave at Stanford University in February of '68. They murdered him 2 months later. And in that speech, he gave that speech, which was the other America. And he said in that speech, there are two Americas. One America has access to opportunity and economic inclusion. And two Americas will not survive. We must achieve one America. I said, you and Martin, you did more than enough. It's our turn, this generation, to achieve the fourth and final chapter. Because she said, Byron, as Black people, we had three major challenges. Number one, end slavery. Number two, right? Number one, that's a big one. Achieve, end slavery. End Jim Crow. That was really personal because as a little girl, she worried every day about her father being lynched. Number three, achieve civil rights. Number four, achieve economic inclusion. And I said, we will deal with the fourth and final chapter, economic inclusion. And it was simple. It was clear as day when she laid it out to me. It's never been black or white. It's never been black or white. We've always thought black and white. It's always been green. Green was the color, not black, not white. Why did they bring us here from Africa? They brought us here from Africa to build the wealth, the greatest wealth on planet Earth. Why did they start the genocide against us? Because we were freed and they did not want to compete with us for the green. So what did they do? They started the economic genocide by using, you will not have access to education. No education. You won't have access to economic inclusion, bank loans, money that's not predatory, economic inclusion. You won't have it. That's genocide. That's economic genocide. I will squeeze you out through lack of education and lack of economic inclusion.
Yep. I love when he said, we have to get rid of that old Jim Crow. We got to get rid of that old Jim Crow for real. Because I'm telling you, sadly, that is at our door. And if we don't push back, well, I don't know what else to say. And I'm telling you, it is important to make new decisions and choices. We are, Oh my goodness, in a few days, we're 6 months into this year. Come on now. Sit back. Get your notepad. What have you done positive? What income have you earned on your own? What did you do in the last 6 months to improve your life? What diet you're trying? What meals you've gotten rid of? How much money you got? You need to do some inventory. I keep telling y'all, it's an inside job. If you have not spoken to anybody with wisdom, insight, received any counsel thus far, I urge you to seek counsel. This is not just about therapy. I'm urging you to seek counsel, to get some form of direction in your life. What is it you want to do, and how can you get these first steps? And also you can email me at safespacetalks@gmail.com. It's the last day, and I'm just trying to share information to warn you, because let this last day be a day where I have warned you, so you can try to reposition yourself to make sure you are preparing for the next wave. Yep. I'm trying to warn you to reposition. You got to reposition yourself. Even if you think you good, still do some inventory. I'm just saying. Okay? Whew. So I came across this story about a group of teenagers grooming other teenagers to do heinous acts. I think the group is 764, and this group may be, they're saying, responsible for some of these school shootings, the mall mobs that we've seen, and just, again, other heinous acts against our young people and young adults. You think at 30, you won't get involved in certain things, but maturity is a thing. And and I love the lady. She was like, you can have education, you can have no education. These things are creeping in unawares. Read your Bibles, Jude. Okay, so this is dangerous. This is dangerous, what is happening through cyber. All right? These children are causing other kids to unalive themselves, steal from their parents, order weapons, take photos of their private areas, send it to this. Parents, today I just want to thank God that I don't have any children, because I would go to jail. You mess with one of mine. Just gonna tell you, I have an Abishai spirit. Read your Bible about Abishai. So parents, talk to your children. Let them feel comfortable sharing their emotions with you. Don't be like, you need to get over that. I'm going to toughen you up. Stop. And listen, if you cussing your kids out like they're your best friend, stop. I live between two schools, and 2 and 3-year-olds and 6-year-olds, and the parents cussing them out like, you making me effing late. No, adult. You made yourself late. You didn't afford yourself enough time. What the hell you yelling at the 6-year-old? 6-year-old? In the name of Jesus, help me, Lord. Help me, Lord. Let's watch the clip. I'll be back because I had to calm down. Watch the clip.
Law enforcement has its own name for this threat: nihilistic violent extremism, or NVE.
It's grounded in the belief that nothing matters and that the only way sometimes to feel anything at all is through violence. The ideology is nihilism, and the victims are kids.
NYPD's Deputy Commissioner of Intelligence and Counterterrorism, Rebecca Weiner, says the threat has some distinct characteristics.
This is influencer culture online at its most sadistic.
The groups are on mainstream online platforms, even self-help forums for kids with mental health issues. Minors are targeted on those platforms by adults, and then those victims are pushed to target other kids. Children are groomed to engage in acts of self-harm and to create child sex abuse content.
And if a child tries to pull away from the network, they get sextortion, they get threatened.
As kids spend more and more time online, with many finding very real and positive connections, part of the concern for parents is how hard it is to predict the victims.
Who are the types of kids that are getting preyed on?
It's anyone. It's a 4.0 student who is doing great at every aspect of life. It's somebody who's struggling.
Weiner, whose group tracks the most serious terrorism threats worldwide 24/7, says they are focused on these groups, which they found almost by accident.
The Joint Terrorism Task Force in New York first started to learn about nihilistic violent extremism through the case of an individual in Queens. We didn't really know what it was. When we dig more, when we start to understand what he's all about, we see a much larger network.
Angel Almeida has been charged federally, and prosecutors told a judge that he made a blood oath to a satanic group and posted these photos to social media. He's pleaded not guilty, and a judge found him not competent to stand trial. Separately, 2 of 764's leaders have been accused of conspiring to try and get a young girl to write in her own blood on her own body. And if she didn't, an indictment says an alleged leader wrote, "You have this image and you have her school. You can blackmail her and tell her you will send this picture to her family and friends. She can avoid if she just obeys you." Both men are fighting their charges. Weiner, a mother herself, has advice for parents for children as young as 12.
Parents need to have those conversations in the way that you and I were taught not to talk to strangers and not to engage in conversations that could be problematic when we were young.
An age-old warning.
Talk to your children about not talking to strangers.
But now, the stranger is inside your house, influencing your kids right at their fingertips.
All right, so summer is right around the corner. I'm an advocate for going through your children's stuff. Every child who live in your house where you paying these bills and feeding they butt, and they under 18, who still live in your house. Matter of fact, I don't care what age they are. No, okay, over 40, don't go through their stuff, okay? But in the maturity of your child, okay? And if your child you might think there's something wrong, go to a therapist, get counsel for your kids. Stop just thinking it, stop acting like that. No, they're acting like that because something's wrong. All right, but I'm an advocate for going through their stuff. My parents did it. It saved my life. So yeah. They go to the bathroom, go through their stuff. They go to school, go through their stuff. They go on a date, go through their stuff. Go through their stuff. Talking about, I remember I told my dad, it's my room. Don't be going through my room and my stuff. That's how we feel. But thank God he did. Thank you, Daddy, for caring that much about me. I ain't know then I was wet behind the ears and immature, but thank you. So yeah, I'm all for parents to be, snoopers. And I say that, but when you find stuff, I don't want you yelling and screaming and trying to whip them. Okay? No. You have to do what? Ask second and third level questions. You have to do what? You have to begin praying and fasting. You have to do what? You have to prep the conversation you desire to have with them. So if you need your little notepad to keep yourself calm, that write big red letters, keep calm. Try not to show too much body language. Don't ball your fists like you about to knock them to next week. No, I know about all this. So, just, and single parents. Oh, I pray for y'all. Oh my God. Definitely stay focused, go through their stuff, and have date night with their child. Parents, y'all going with y'all friends all the time and y'all hanging out, need a boyfriend and need a girlfriend. Pay attention to your child, especially if they on these social sites. Okay, because this is where they're coming into your house through the computer. So make sure you're having conversations. But most of all, make sure your child feels comfortable that they can come to you. My dad made me feel real comfortable to tell him anything. And I mean anything. And I did. And when I did, he ain't trip out. He handles some things, but he ain't trip out in front of me to make me feel like, I can't tell him, I don't want to say nothing. He said things like, be careful out there, especially with them dudes, because I don't want to go to jail. So I did my best at doing that. But if a dude got out of hand, I was like, Daddy, it was dealt with. So, we know that in this world, there's tribulation. Jesus said it in John 16:33. These things I have spoken to you, that in me you may have peace. I could stop right there. But in the world, you will have tribulation. But be of good cheer. I have overcome the world. Even for my unbelievers, this right here is good. So listen, stay connected. Chapter 2 is coming. It's going to be super amazing. Again, you can still email us for resources, counseling, whatever you need at safespacetalks@gmail.com. I always want to share some of the things with you, but the privacy of our people is most valuable. It's so precious to me. So if I can share, I share. If they don't want us to share, we don't share, even when we do in person. If you look at the videos, some people was like, okay, yeah, you can share, and have shared their experience. And some people was like, I don't want to be on camera. But the things that went forth in those rooms had me sit here this long to let y'all know, no, we got you. We got you. So again, like I said, you can email us. We are still doing the work. My God, we are still doing the works behind the scenes. So enjoy your summer and stay safe, please. And if God says the same, you'll see me on here again. And I love me some y'all.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Bishop Calvin Cabarrus.
Good afternoon. My friends, today we stand on sacred ground, not because where we are, but because of who we are. A people shaped by promise and scarred by sin. A nation conceived in liberty, yet compromised by cruelty. During the abolition era, courageous voices rose to confront that contradiction. Harriet Beecher Stowe used her pen to awaken the conscience of a divided nation, exposing the moral horror of slavery through the words that stirred hearts across America and helped turn public opinion against the institution. And Harriet Tubman, born into slavery herself, escaped bondage only to risk her life again and again, to lead others to freedom through the Underground Railroad, becoming a living testimony of courage, faith, and sacrifice. The abolition movement was sustained in churches and prayer meetings, in pulpits and homes, in whispered hymns, hidden rooms, and believers who recognized that every human being was made in the image of God. Tubman herself often prayed before each journey, trusting God to guide her steps through danger and darkness. Many called her Moses because she led so many out of bondage and into freedom. These women and countless others understood a truth as old as creation itself. Every human being is a child of the same God. There was a time in history when that truth was denied. The abolition movement rose not merely as a political effort, but as a moral awakening, a thunderous reminder that no law can cancel what God has already declared. The abolitionists believe that dignity does not come from status, skin color, or station in life, but from the Creator himself. They stood against a system that treated people as property and proclaimed instead that people are precious. They faced ridicule, rejection, violence, imprisonment, and even death. Yet they pressed forward because they understood that righteousness is never convenient and justice is never cheap. The heroes of the abolition movement teach us this eternal truth. Comfort will never correct injustice, only courage will. We cannot rewrite the past, but we must learn from it. Ignoring history only invites repetition. Remembering it demands responsibility. The danger today is not that we forget entirely, but we remember selectively. If we are to move forward, we must be honest about where we've been. Let us face facts faithfully, teach truth fully, refuse to repeat what we refuse to confront. And so we come to this moment and a call for renewed reference and national rededication. Not a shallow slogan, not a political posture, but a genuine turning back to the belief that we are accountable to something higher than ourselves. To rededicate America to God is not to claim perfection. It is to confess dependence. It is to say that we need wisdom beyond our justice, deeper than our systems, and mercies greater than our failures. The abolitionists lit a fire in this nation and eventually the entire world. They proclaimed the truth, and the truth set people free. Now the question is, what will we do? Will we remember, or will we repeat? Will we divide, or will we dignify? Will we drift, or will we dedicate? Let us leave here committed in three simple, powerful pursuits. Number one, honor humanity, honor human dignity, practice persistent courage, and pursue a higher calling. Because when we truly believe we are children of the same God, we won't just remember our history, but we will change our future. Thank you very much, and may God bless the United States of America.